All right, today is April 6th, and it happens to be the International Day of Sports for Development and Peace, IDSDP for short. The UN declared this day to talk about sports and how important it is to us. The UN Deputy Secretary General Amina J. Mohammed, she's from Nigeria though, says sport has the power to align our passion, our energy and enthusiasm around the collective cause, and that it is precisely when hope can be nurtured and trust can be regained. Because of sports, we know it is our collective interest to harness the tremendous power of sports to build a better and a more sustainable future for all. That's Amina Mohammed on this day. And we have two guests that will be talking to us on this.
All right, we have Nosakare Iguma. Good morning, good to see you. And of course, we also have my man. You're not smiling this morning. I used to thinking about the...
Mr. Igalo is not interested. He's boiling because he wants to talk sports. These are faces that we see all the time in television talking about sports.
Certainly. Yes. And today we have the real privilege to be with them. So, Osage Igalo, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. You're looking very, very sharp, I would say.
Oh, thank you. You look sharper.
Now, Nosa and I have a history. I don't know if I should say this. You know, we used to know way back. There was a day, the first day I saw him, he wore a Versace shoe. And
original Versace or the...
So when I saw it, I'm like, is this original or it's modified to just look like it's original? I don't say fake.
Okay.
He was smiling. I said, okay, no, this one is not original. It's Versace. This is not Versace. And so every time I see him, I keep calling him Versace, and he would just laugh. I called him Versace to a point that I forgot his name was Nusa. It was that bad. But it's good to have you here in person.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we'll be starting with Mr. Igalo. Yeah. Just tell us a little bit about this International Day. It's a UN observance, and what you think we should know about it, how we should celebrate this day. The UN has a way they said we should celebrate. I'm not a sports person. If you look at me, you will know that I'm not.
No, like we are not sports
Exactly,
person.
you will know. But see there now, see the flat stomach. So let's get into this. What way should we actually celebrate this day?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. Yes, as you said, UN declared it way back in 2013 as, they saw that the UN have a way of, trying to resolve, different countries at war, conflict. So they saw that sports was a very good medium they could use to do that, because sports has a way of bringing peace and bringing development. So that's when they declared it in 2013. And then the IOC, that is the International Olympic Committee, officially recognized it in 2014 as well. So ever since then, it has been a yearly event. And every year always has a team. The team usually, looking at what is happening around us. And this year is to look at how, looking at sports in relation to climate change. Because what we're seeing around the world right now is we're seeing very adverse weather conditions. Even here in Nigeria, you see people complaining when they come out that the sun is, very summer, very, very hot. And you see this morning, the rain that fell, the wind, and so it looks like so many other countries.
Weathers are extreme.
Yeah, they are experiencing so many harsh weather conditions. And this year is also significant because there's a war going on right now, as we know, the Russia invasion of Ukraine. And it has also been, the UN also highlighted that, because if you look at what they have done now, just yesterday, Russia withdrew their appeal because they were appealing that they were being thrown out of the World Cup. So they withdrew their appeal. So that is one of the ways they're now using to sanction Russia. First of all, they were kicked out of the World Cup. Same thing, the Europeans also kicked them out of European club competitions. And so many other sport events also were hammered on them. Even their Paralympic, for the Winter Olympics, were kicked out of the tournament just on the eve of when the tournament was to start. So this is, the way celebrate it is that sports, we see sports as a unifying factor, as a way of bringing peace, a way of big development. Because when, you can imagine, I can remember when Nigeria played their football match, I was at home, I saw that everybody put on the gen, everybody from all, whether it's north, east, everybody came together just to watch that football match. So sports is a good medium to promote peace. Even in time past, we've seen a player, Didier Drogba, using sports to stop civil war in his own country, because when he moved the football match, a qualifier match to the rebel hood, everybody had to come together and watch that football match. And after the match, he gave a speech telling them that they should all come together. So sport is a very, very powerful tool, and it's a tool that you can use to bring peace, bring development, because sports is a unifying factor. Sports unifies. When sports is being played, you see everybody, both from the political class, the middle class, the low class, the northwest, is everybody comes together just for sports. And that's why the UN is saying that if this is that strong, then we should make it official, because it's a way to promote peace and development.
Interesting. Well, Nigeria, sports generally is fun. I like to watch swimming. But Nigerian football seems to be one that Nigerians, I don't watch Nigerian football. It makes me cry. I begin to act like a child. I'm watching, the last time I watched Nigerian football, I was in the university.
Oh, really?
And the game was going sour, as usual, and you could see me crying.
Is that you don't have faith in our footballers?
See, they make me sad.
Oh, yeah.
So I was crying, then later I ran into the room. People didn't know what I was doing. I started praying. I was speaking in tongues. We still lost.
You went spiritual.
All right.
So, can we indeed achieve world peace through sports? So we
can. I mean, from what Igalo has highlighted already, he has given instances where peace, of course, came through sports. Like he mentioned a case in Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire in 2013, when the captain and the leader of the national team, Didier Drogba, had literally stopped civil war. There was unrest in some part of the country, a river region in that country, and he pleaded with the country's football authority to move their qualifier match to that region. After playing, he gave a speech like he did. He scored a goal during the game, and of course, he is not even from that region to start with, so he did give a speech.
But he took the match there.
And of course, influenced the match being played in that part of the country. After playing, gave a speech, and do you know that immediately after that match, all warring parties came to call a truce and had a peace meeting, and afterwards, they amended their differences, and peace became something in that region, which was never to be, I think, for some years before that time. So we can achieve world peace. We've seen it play out over and over again. In cricket, for instance, India and Pakistan, politically, they are like oil and water, we know that. But in sports, they are always together. So they play against each other. In as much as it's competition, we know. But you see these countries players exchanging pleasantries, shaking hands, hugging after games, and that's the essence of sports. We need to build the oneness, and that's why I feel that we can achieve world peace. Like you mentioned, the case currently going on in Russia, in Ukraine, the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. We've seen FIFA and other governing body in the world hammer down on Russia because of their invasion, and not just other governing body. We've seen figures, public figures. For instance, the owner of Chelsea, Roman Abramovich, is a Russian. His properties were seized, and he was forced to sell some of his assets. Wanted to even sell some of his assets before they were seized, and by so they told him, "These are temporary. This is just for now until you can plead with your country to stop whatever is going on in Ukraine."
So you think, sorry to cut you now, you think these sanctions will have any positive effect?
It does influence, and from the reason why it was even sanctioned, it wasn't just the only person that was sanctioned. I think it's a group of people that are very influential,
prominent,
and are close to the Russian president. So they know he is a key figure and he can influence decisions. So they just had to start with him. Since they can't get to the president or get the president to stop what is going on in Ukraine, they feel people around him can plead or influence his decision to stop what is going on in Ukraine. So we can achieve world peace with sports.
Okay.
Interesting. Well, I look forward to that. I see in Nigeria the last game we had with the Black Stars of Ghana, I didn't see no peace there. There was just too many emotions. Maybe a lot of the Nigerians are like me. The last time I watched, I said I was crying. After we lost that game, instead of us to shake hands with Black Stars, we were destroying our properties. So there's just too many emotions, I think, attached to sports.
Yeah, there are emotions, and I think in looking at that, we have to look at other side of sports, in quotes. It's a sport that brings people together, and whatever brings you together is what you love. Whatever that drags is what you love, and you must have high emotion for that. And sometimes, because it's a competitive game, you want to win at most times. Nobody wants to lose. And most of the time, we can't control our emotions. That is just one case out of the many, of course, positive that we've had before now. We've seen better positions and, of course, better reaction from the Nigerian fans. Not just what happened in Abuja. It's quite condemnable, but yeah, I think we've had better experiences compared to what happened in Abuja.
Certainly.
True, I can agree with that one. Okay, now let's look at Nigerian football. The UN has said we all need to map out a way. They have their own ways, their sustainable goals, and they expect every country under the UN to follow suit. And let's look at Nigeria. Mapping the sports development and the peace agenda of the UN. Where are we as a nation? Are we even close to the targets? Are we ever going to be there with what we're saying? We could use football as a case study, because I don't want to talk about basketball, neither do I want to talk about wrestling or boxing. We're not really known for these sports. So what do you think about Nigeria meeting up with the UN Sustainable Goals of achieving peace through sports? Are we really mature enough to achieve this?
Okay, yeah, thank you. What we are saying right now, there seems to be an unrest, in Nigeria, especially in the northern region of Nigeria, and I think the government needs to really see sports as a tool. We have lost it in terms of the grassroots. That is where you tackle this issue of having these people, because when you introduce sports to them, it takes them off the streets. They now drop the guns and go into sporting activities. But it seems to have been neglected. What we're looking at is more or less foreign exports. We are now looking at players that are playing abroad. We bring them in. We are not really looking at what we have in depth. We've lost the culture. This was something we were known for before. In that days when people were blaming the goalkeeper that made a blunder in that game, but in time past, Vincent Eyama was homegrown. He came from the Nigerian league in Eyimba, and he came to the national team, and we saw how good he was. Even when the late Steve Keshi, he also brought a certain Sunday Umba who helped us to win the Nations Cup and also qualify for the World Cup. So the government needs to go back to the grassroots. There are a lot of sports that so many people doing these things. They are very, very talented, but they just feel that there's no hope for them. But if the government cannot take to the grassroots, primary schools, secondary schools, revive these competitions, right, to have the Principal's Cup, then this is how these talents are being grown. You can see Brazil do very well in football, because how they get it is from the street. You are picked from the street, and before you know, you become a big star. But right now, we are not seeing a large exodus of our talent, going to the academies in England. And these are the countries now benefiting from it, while we are suffering. So the government now needs to go to the grassroots and make sure that these grassroots competitions are being established. We need to see more money being pushed into these grassroots competitions. Let us go there. We have so much talent there. So many people doing these things. They are wishing they had this opportunity to be like these big stars, but no opportunity, no hope. So if you can go there to this grassroots and revive some of these competitions that we have been known for, then I think it will be a big plus for, because with that already, you are taking someone off the street. So someone that is doing well, because the good thing with sports is that once you start doing sports, you start getting well paid, you start getting recognized, start getting endorsement deals. So when you are settled, you won't be thinking of having to take up arms to go and bomb somewhere or do one or two things, because you are now fully equipped and you can stand on your own. So that is one area the government need to also look at, a way to bring back the grassroots. And if this is being done, it will really help to bring many of the youths that we see today, into one crime or the other, bring them out, and it really reduce the chaos we have. So we are not, I would say we are still far off from achieving that. The government need to, pump more money in the grassroots. I think if we do that, we will not get closer to achieving that goal.
Okay, I hope so. All right.
Okay. Looking at, still, like, it's similar to what Daisy asked Igalo. Looking at the high rate of crime, youth are involved in internet stealing, okay, and apart from that, ritual killings and all that. So what do you think government should do to curb this violence?
Okay, quite similar to what Igalo has highlighted already. I think, for instance...
so what are the things you think government should put in
off,
place?
Apart from, I've always said that we don't lack talent in this part of the world. I think we are the most blessed country in the world. We've got so much talent. Our challenge has always been developing and exporting that talent.
Okay.
And some of the times, you look at the people that are involved in this crime, internet fraud, like you mentioned, and other vices.
Ritual
they are
killings.
actually youths that are of the age that can participate in sport. And if you look at them, some of them are very talented. I'll bring you a case study. I have a friend who was playing for Beden Insurance then.
Okay.
And he was really struggling because he wasn't meeting up with first team football. And at some point, he got dropped. And at the point he got dropped, his friend came, whom, of course, he was better than some points, in quotes, in terms of standard of living. And the person just told him, why did you kill yourself for football? Let's just go and do something else. And before you know it, he came out with a brand new car in less than 2 months and everything. And he said that was the best life for him. This is a very talented footballer. That's just one case of so many that has gone that way. Now, there are two ways we can look at this. The government needs to, if the players, if the people know that they have a equal or a level playing field, they would want to give it a try. He mentioned that our bulk of our national team players is now foreign-based because the local players now, they feel that they want to go outside, play in the foreign club,
make
and
more money,
make the name, then they can get invited by their national team. And in time past, it was actually not like that. We've seen players from here that do us proud. And if the chances are fair, if the development and the infrastructure is one thing that we also need to look at. Infrastructure, kudos to the current government of Edo State, where we've got stadiums around, and of course, Cool Sports is back and everything. And if other state can borrow a leaf from what we're having in those states, then I mean, the athletes will know that they have a place. They have a place to train themselves, not just train themselves and participate when time comes. And also, looking at what is going on much later, looking at the bigger picture, where after training, what's next? Then you know that you need a level playing field.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, we're about to end this segment of the show. This is our first discussion. According to the United Nations, they say sport encourages individual development. I guess we all agree on that. It promotes health and also prevents diseases. I think I have to do some kind of sports now. Now, they said it also promotes gender equality. Now, this one is a bit broad. I'm wondering, you know, people talk about equality and they're like, if you're talking equality, what works for the man should work for the woman. There should be a balance. So some people who do not understand what equality is about could say, let male and female be merged together. Let female play against male so that we can prove that we're equal. Now let's not get crazy. So we have the female football, we have the male sports, and it all balances out. So what works for a man has theirs, the women should, because even as much as we're talking about equality, we don't have same physical strength. We might have same mental capacity, but we don't have same physical strength. So let's not get it twisted.
So that means you're saying that what a man can do, a woman shouldn't dare it.
No, I'm saying when it comes to physical strength, I'm not saying you shouldn't dare. There are some women who have as much physical strength as a man. Some men are weaker than some. But I'm saying in the overall, every woman is not, most women are not as strong as a man physically. But when it comes to mental strength, it could be better.
What they're also trying to say is, we've seen some countries where women are not allowed to come into stadiums, countries like Saudi Arabia, and the Middle East. And you know, the UN has found they do this, and recently we started seeing them that right now they are coming in. True. You know, giving them a level
human rights.
Let them not feel left out. Like they are, you know, so it's trying to let them know that women can also be involved. So some of those countries right now, they're also being involved in that as well. So that is also a way to, you know, ensure the
just in addition too, I think even those that are already in sports, equal remuneration too. You know, but there's this current campaign going on in the United States of America where the female team, who seem to have bring more glory to them, are asking for equal pay, just like the male. And it is. Daniel in Edo State, it is happening in Edo State. The Edo Queens players are earning just the least player in a dopings earns as much as the least player in bed insurance.
Nice.
So equal pay, equal remuneration will help break that gender bias.
Now, that's perfect. And on that note, we'll call it a wrap on this segment. I want to say thank you, Nusa, and thank you, Mr. Igalo, for your time, for being with us on the show.
Thank you.
We'll be seeing more of them.
Certainly, certainly, certainly.